Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk 1943. And this is a special show tonight. I am, if you don't know, you should know by now, I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And I have tonight my intake sister, Shannon McGuire-Lee, that is running for the 13th State Director of Georgia State Director of the sorority. And we wanted to talk to her tonight and get to know who Shannon is. So, Shannon McGuire Lee, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, I
Good
am.
evening, everyone in the studio and in the backstage.
They all over, Shannon. They all
They're
over.
all over.
They're
Okay.
all over. So let me explain to everyone and do a little housekeeping before we get started. So this is a little different than Zoom. This is StreamYard platform. So you only allow so many people in the backstage. So Soras or guests who are in the backstage, so you can stay there. We're going to do a little talking. And then at the end, we're going to do a question and answer. And I'm going to let each one of y'all come on and you'll be able to ask any questions or comments or whatever you wanted to say. And then the next one I'll let in. So if you're trying to get in, you're not able to, is this because it's full. So as one go on, then come in and we'll get you all in, okay? So I just want to let you know how it's operating here. So we didn't forget about you. It's just that it's only allowed 12 at a time, okay? So we'll definitely get you in at the end with questions and answers. So, all right. So Shannon, you want to say anything to us before we get started?
I just want to say good evening to all of my Sorrows family and guests that have joined today. I know that you could be anywhere else, and I don't take that for granted. So I thank you for coming on to learn about my candidacy and who I am. I especially want to thank my intake sister, Regina Smithwick. She has been a true godsend since we met in 2006. We've been on this Zeta journey and this journey called Life Together. And I love her. I appreciate her, and I just feel like we were actually born from the same parents. We are very much alike. We are aligned. We in sync. We are very evenly yoked. So it is an honor to be on your show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be able to have you on this show. So we have people saying hello. So I'll get into that in a second, but we'll go ahead and get started so we can get to know Shannon better. So I have some stuff that we could talk about right now.
Oh
Shannon?
Lord, that's a flash.
Where it all began.
Yes, indeed.
On a
Okay.
beautiful Sunday afternoon on April 29th, 2007. As you know, me and Shannon are intake sisters with the other Brittany, Patrice, and Raquel. And we were just so ecstatic and happy that day that we became the final women of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So Shannon, I know my feelings that day. Tell me how you felt. I know, but tell the audience how you felt that day.
Well, first of all, I was having a bad hair day. You know, I was vain back in the day. So it was whatever was going wrong that day. But I
Ooh.
know that I was destined to be a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. It's been instilled in my heart forever. I am a graduate of Spelman College. And when I was on campus, we did not have any active Zetas on the yard, but I did see them continue to do community service. So that was really what, drew me to the organization. So when I got the chance to do graduate chapter, I was ecstatic. So that day for me and just us as intake sisters preparing for that moment, that was just amazing. There's really no words to explain, what that day meant for me. I think I cried the whole week. I cried before, I cried after, and some days, I still cry because it's just amazing the stuff that we've been able to do as sisters, individually, professionally, and with Zeta. So that was definitely a change moment in my life.
It was. And Zeta did a lot just leadership wise and growing you and stretching you out of your comfort zone. Like it did so much for all of us. So it was great. It was a wonderful day. Wonderful day. You want to continue to look at your hair, Shannon?
No, we can move on from that picture. And shame on y'all for letting me come out the house looking like that. Shame on y'all. Y'all are not y'all sister's keeper. So next picture.
And FYI, y'all want to know something a little bit. Shannon got me by half of a quarter of an inch. All right, half a quarter of an inch.
Okay, we're gonna let you have it.
All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of you, who you are. And we already discussed that. Of course, we've been members for 15 years. On April
Yes.
29th, it's been our 15th anniversary. So we did a lot in 15 years being a Zeta, right? So
Yes.
let's look at it. You became a Zeta in 2007. 7 years later, seven, you became the president of the same chapter. It, if people could understand, that's not easy. That's not easy. That's a lot of work and dedication to get you from becoming a member to becoming the president of the same chapter that you came in. So, Shannon, talk to us about how you felt that day when you became the president of Kappa Iota Zeta.
Well, I know this story has been told a million times, but Sarah Janelsia Belt wrote my letter for me to become a member of Kappa Iota Zeta chapter. That's how I got introduced into the chapter. And one of the first things after we became members, somebody asked me, I can't remember who it was, what did I want to do? And me, in my naiveness, said, I want to be Basilisk president of the chapter. And I think we was Zetas maybe 5 minutes. Um, it seemed like a great idea at the time. I had no idea what I meant, but I know in my mind I meant I had goals. Now the time frame, I did not, I did not see it. God didn't give it to me. But I believe in numbers and I believe in ordained assignments. And 7 is the number of completion.
Mm-hmm.
So, when God said, okay, it's your time. And if my sisters and my family and friends, a lot of y'all know, I was going through a lot during that time because I was a full-time caregiver for my mom and my husband. But God said, it is your time. I have set the course for this and it is your time. But he also put people in place to undergird me. I had great mentors. I had a great executive board. The chapter was phenomenal as far as support, and we didn't miss a beat. We brought home every award possible, and I know that Regina can attest to that. At
I'm about to tell that story in a second.
when we had our national conference, we got closer as a chapter. We made relationships with other chapters. So the 4 years of my presidency was phenomenal. It changed me as a person and definitely as a leader. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Yes, it was a great experience. So I moved to North Carolina, so I was part of another chapter, and I'm hearing the awards now. If you don't know, it's like thousands of us in the room, and you hearing the awards getting called, and all I'm hearing is Capo to Zeta, Capo. I said, listen, I was clapping so much I couldn't even sit down. I would try to sit. Yep, there's another one. Got stand up. I said, you know what? I said, can you get a chair and just sit in the front? Cause I'm tired of you walking back and forth. But that tells you that's the dedication and the leadership that she has, just with the chapter alone, not even including the woman she is. She's a final woman. She's a woman of God. She's a great daughter, a great wife, a great godmother. The leadership role she holds in state and region. She's just a phenomenal woman across the board. So talking about that, now, after you become president and did 2 terms, not one, because you had to run twice. It wasn't like they gave it to you. You had to run again. So obviously they see fit for you to be the president again. Now, a couple years later, they want to honor you by giving you a Hall of Fame award. So from beginning to being president twice, now we got a Hall of Fame award. So I was there that night. It was a beautiful ceremony. Can you explain to us how that felt for you?
We always want to be recognized by our own. We always want to be honored by our works. And for me, for my chapter to see that in 10 years I was worthy of going into the Hall of Fame, that was phenomenal.
Yes.
But what was also even more phenomenal was I got to do it with one of my mentors, Dr. Mildred McCoy. Dr. McCoy has kind of become my surrogate mother since my mother is no longer on earth. And I can just close my eyes sometimes and she'll say something that my mom would say, or she'll remind me of my why. Mm-hmm. So when we got to do this Hall of Fame together, like I say, there's no experience was phenomenal. And from beginning to end, from us preparing for it, we did a photo shoot, we did our makeup together, just preparing for the whole thing. It was ordained and it was just wonderful. And I had my family and friends and my sisters there to celebrate me, and my chapter to say, job well done. And that felt really good because, they'll tap me and let me know, no, McGuire-Lee, We need you to go left or we need you to go right. But to know that within all of those lessons, they still, felt fit that, we want to honor you for the Hall of Fame. That was just something I will never forget.
And that's a fantastic award. I mean, that award is not given out lightly. It's not just given to anyone. These people that are in the Hall of Fame with you are amazing women, just women in general, but they are amazing Zeta women. So I would like to congratulate you again on that, because that's a big, big ordeal, or big moment in your life. So let's do your professionalism. Let's look at your professional life. So you are the owner since 2003 now. Since
Yes.
2003, Provider Solutions LLC. Because can you explain to us what that is?
Yes, Provider Solutions LLC. I started out actually doing contract work for private and small entities that had group homes in the Georgia area. And I did their training for their direct care staff, for their management staff. And in Georgia, you have to have licensed homes to have people with mental health and mental disabilities inside your home. So I would do the paperwork for them. Never wanted to get into the residential piece. That was really not my lot in life. My lot was, doing policies and procedures. Then I met this one support coordinator, and she said, I have this family that cannot get the right fit for their child. And I think that the way that you think on a smaller scale, more intimate scale, that you need to do residential.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, so residential means every day, all day, I'm here. If an emergency happens, a staff don't show up, tag you it. So I had to pray on that thing, and I talked to my husband, and he said, let's do it. So I opened up my first personal care home with one individual for 2 years. I couldn't get any staff because I couldn't afford it. I just got married in 2003, April. So I was the living staff there for a year as a newlywed. But I
Wow.
know that God had a plan. So a year later, I got another individual in the home. I was able to get a full-time weekday staff and weekend staff, and we've
Mm-hmm.
been going strong ever since. I was able to open up another group home, and then I decided to downsize, and we can talk about that later. So now I only have one in the Cobb County area, but and I still do, some consulting for people that want to open up group homes. So that's what Provider Solutions LLC does.
Wow. That's a lot. I
It
mean,
is.
just getting married and you doing that. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. And you still doing it strong. And that tells you, you're a social worker and you've been doing social work for over 25 years. And that alone tells you that you have to have a caring spirit to be a social worker, because you give more than you're going to receive in that field, right? You give and give and give.
Yes. Oh, I could just be crazy and don't know when to sit down somewhere and and stop giving. But I knew early on that I was going to be mother to many people. God showed me that vision early on. I never wanted biological kids,
Mm-hmm.
and He always showed me that I was going to raise a lot of children. I didn't know what that looked like, what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to the social service field, I did juvenile probation. I did, you name it, I did it. And back when I started in the early 80s, I'm aging myself. We had a lot of vocationary, programs for
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Georgia. Work from prison to the work program. So I got to interact with a lot of kids, and I know when I go out now and I hear Miss Shannon, and I turn around, it's one of my kids. They're married, they have doctorate degrees, master degrees, they're teaching, they went into social service, because of the impact I had on them. And I don't take that lightly. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
So even though, like I said, I don't have biological kids, I felt like I've raised enough, and social services actually raised me as well and made me the person that I am today.
Yes, yes, it did. Yes, it did. That's remarkable, Shannon. Really is. Now, we did something else last year that is like a passion for you, and it's unique in the way it was done. So, can you give us a little synopsis about the Lee's Lounge LLC?
Yes, Lee's Lounge LLC. So every year on our anniversary, April 26th, my husband and I, we set goals for the year. So we go out to dinner or we do a staycation, and we basically kind of look at the year in review, and then we look at the year ahead. So last year, COVID taught us a lot of things. My husband lost his parents like a month within each other.
Yeah.
And with my mom being gone, and we just wanted to revamp a lot of things. We were going on 19 years being married. So we decided to sell our house. We were in our house for 12 years, decided to sell our house and downsize. And we decided that, we wanted to do something together. And my husband always told me that, I was musically inclined, even
Mm-hmm.
though my sisters don't allow me to sing. My husband lets me know that I am musically inclined, and I love music.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of people don't know is when he does his sets, most of the time I am instrumental in that, putting a lot of his sets together for him. He's the DJ off
Mm-hmm.
top, but as far as putting the music together and the mixes, I do assist with that. So he was like, we need to start something and do something. So one of my anniversary presents was a mixer. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, me, I was like, what is this? I don't know. It's a foreign object. What am I supposed to do with this? And so, he taught me, how to use it. And so now we go and we DJ virtually and in person together. And I love it. I love it. I just did my chapters retreat. And I know they just was hyping me up, but I'll take it. Because they was like, man, you were great. You were great. And I was like,
They're
okay,
gassing you. They're gassing you, Shannon.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So I'll take it. And it's been something that has brought us closer together. And I
Mm-hmm.
learned from him because he is a genius when it comes to the musical piece, just the way he puts stuff together and his ear for music, and he's teaching me that. So and we've had a lot of gigs since 2001. So it has, I mean, 2021. So it's been great.
I know, I know. I just gave you one you couldn't do 'cause y'all already booked already. So I was
True.
like, really, y'all? Really? Yeah, just got in here. But Lex been DJing for years, and he did something for me for when I was in Georgia and stuff. And we got that. We hip hop heads. So, me and Lex, we always talk about music, and it's good though. It's good that y'all could do it together, your passions together. You don't see that often. And that's what's unique about your business because people love to see the unity of a couple doing something together. And that's like what people were telling me. Like, I just want them, they a couple. That's amazing to see them DJ together. So y'all doing something that a lot of people are not doing. So keep it up.
Thank you. And we're gonna get you on the front end because we don't want to turn down any money, but we will book for the 5th. But keep us in mind, ma'am. Keep us
I
in mind.
sure will. I sure will. So before we go ahead, I was going to make sure that everybody knows the ones that are waiting to talk to Shannon, please continue to wait. The ones who cannot get in, just give us some time. There's only 12 people able to be hold in the back off. I mean, the back office, the back stage. So just wait. We'll get your questions and we'll let the next one in. We'll let the next one in. All right. So just be patient. Shannon want to talk to everyone. So we're going to get everybody in. So I just want to make sure you know that we ain't forget about you. Okay. So let's go ahead to your personal. We already talked about Lex. We're going to talk about him a little later. We're going to talk about right now. You said about not having birth children, but you have children. And you said that the Lord brought that to you to say that you're going to be mother to many. And so you do have 4 bonus daughters and you have 3 goddaughters. So I know they're very important to you. You talk about them all the time. So just give us a little bit of background of your kids.
Well, my bonus daughters are amazing. So I have Natalie, Ariane, Erin, and Briannon, and they came with my husband. He was a package deal, So I met them all one by one, and a couple of them lived with us for a little while. So they kind of taught me how to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about our relationship is they all have great, phenomenal mothers. So
Mm-hmm.
I am not their biological mother. I do not, take that for granted. But
Mm-hmm.
I am blessed that, I get along with their mothers, and their mothers allow me to be that bonus mom to them. And I love that. One of them is a college graduate. The other one is an artist. And the other 2 are, doing their own things in their own perspective of professions. And they're beautiful young ladies. And my god babies, they're in college. One is about to graduate from Valdosta State, Joy
All
Johnson.
right.
I'm so proud of her. And
All
she's
right.
actually in Arcanet through Kappa Iota Zeta. She was the president, and now she's graduating. I'm like, you just became, you were just in a youth auxiliary
Wow.
yesterday. My other god baby is a sophomore at the University of New Orleans, and my other god baby graduated from LSU with a dual degree in Spanish, and she works for Comcast for the Spanish channel.
Cool.
So all of my god babies and all of my bonus daughters are doing very well. And I don't have a Zeta yet. Put that out there. We don't have a Zeta yet.
Wink,
But
wink.
we waiting to get a Zeta. And I'm trying to lead by example. So they seeing what Mama Shannon is doing. So hopefully somebody's gonna call me one day and say, yeah, we about to go to information on Mama Shannon. And we want to be next in line. But I love them like I gave birth to them, myself.
All right. I'm glad that you know, because some people don't know, because they know that you don't have biological, but you know how I feel about that. Children, your children. Doesn't matter your blood or not. They're your kids. You claim when you feed them, they're yours. So
Yes.
I just want to go ahead. We got some comments here. We have Dr. Laura. She said hello.
Hey, Dr. Laws.
All right. All right. Hello. 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 And we have Brandy. She's on Lee's on the 3.
These on three. Lord have mercy. Yeah, that's another one of my children. I don't claim her on my taxes. And she is the sister to my god baby. She raised my god baby, Joy Johnson. So if it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
for Brandy, John and Brandy is a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority
Yes.
Incorporated.
All right. So all
Yeah,
right.
if
All right. Thank
it
you.
wasn't
Thank
for
you for the
her, Joy would not be the woman she is today. So thank you, Brandy, for allowing me to be a part of Joy's life.
nice, nice, very nice. Um, we have Christy. She's
Hey,
saying great
Christy.
information.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're getting to know Shannon. Go ahead and let us know if you're getting to know Shannon. Go ahead and post. You go ahead and do your comments. I'll share them. I'm hoping you're getting to know her a little bit more tonight than you did before. Because I know a lot of times you're hearing all the other stuff, and that's great. You need to know the platform. You need to know all that, but you need to know who this person is, right? So that's what tonight we're doing for you to get to know Shannon. She's McGuire-Lee, but tonight she's Shannon. So we're gonna get to know Shannon tonight.
Yes.
So we have Ms. Laura said, okay, she said she'll join the conversation. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sora.
Dr. Laws.
Thank you, Dr. Laws. I appreciate that. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So, all right, we're going to move on to the next. The 3 T's. We've been advertising the 3 T's for the last week. Everybody knows on your platform, they see it all over the place, Shannon. They hear it, they see the words, but what is the 3 T's?
Well, when I thought about and prayed about my platform, what do I want to bring to the sisterhood? And we always, as any organization, you want to be aligned. So after we got our brand new 26th international president, Dr. Stacy NC Grant, I went to look at her platform, and it was, to reignite the torch. And even though torch, stood for a lot of things, that just resonated with me because we all have moments in our life, not just in Zeta and other organizations, but in life where your light goes out because, life happens and
That's
you,
right.
you got to say, what do I need to do to reignite my torch or who can, help me reignite my torch? And that's where your sisters come in. So with Dr. Grant's plan, she wants to concentrate on the training piece, on prioritizing programming, on culture, honor, and respect, which I love. That is me all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to do with teach, transform, and transcend, and Sarah's family and friends, I am a social worker by trade. So I do take notes. So I am reading some of my notes because I have notes everywhere. And my husband is sick of me because I'm like Mary Jane. I got Post-its everywhere in the house. Whenever I come up with an idea, the guy gives me something, I gotta post it everywhere. So I know he's like, I'm so sick of you and doing what you're doing with these posters. But anyway, I digress. So for my teach piece, I want to make sure that, after we left our national conference, we had a lot of information to digest.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be, rolling down from the national level. And I want to make sure that we are prepared because we all know a good Zeta is a well-informed Zeta. And
That's
we
right.
want to be prepared to run our chapters, run our states, in our region. So I do plan on making sure that we have several webinars for the state to go over the new document that we have, the 11th edition of our bylaws and constitutions, because everybody is not going to be familiar with it. It's very scary, just like Robert's Rules is very scary. Mm-hmm. But I want you to have at least the basic working foundation of the document so you can answer a question intelligently, or at least you know where to go and get the information. So that is first on my list. We're also going to do some additional training for our Z-Hope, Zeta helping other people excel. As a social worker, I am very big in community service. And we do have a new system that is in place that's being tweaked. So I want to make sure that sorors know how to input that information, to know how to get the points, know the categories that you need to concentrate on to make that happen. And we also want to I'm really big on protocols and amenities. I believe that you have to honor the position. It has nothing to do with the person, nothing to do. Shannon McGuire-Lee is a person. So whatever position I am in or whatever position somebody else is in, I'm going to honor that position because we're not going to hold these positions forever. So I definitely want to do a overall of protocols and amenities. I want to talk about fundraising and sponsorships because I think a lot of organizations, not just Zeta, we fundraise off of ourselves. We already pay dues into this organization. We all volunteer to give of our time, talents, and finances to this organization. But I want to look to see what can we do to get more fundraising and more sponsorships for the state of Georgia so we can concentrate on doing different stuff for our conferences, doing different stuff for our undergrads to make sure we were all undergrads once. I know I had $40 a month that my mama would send me. And that would be the money that I had to live off of. That was back in the 80s when we didn't have no cell phone bills and all of that stuff. But still, I had limited funds. And these sorors, have limited funds as well. So I want to look at, undergirding them and making sure that they are at these conferences and that we do give them what they need. As far as my transformation, everybody has seen my transformation. I had weight loss surgery last year. I've lost 70 pounds, but not only have I lost weight, I've lost weight. Mm-hmm. And with the weight, I mean the cares that other people put on me, the responsibilities, the what can I say? Their opinions. So a lot of things I have transformed myself to prepare me to run for this office because I was not prepared mentally, physically for this office. But God used me as an instrument to show other people you can do it as well. I'm not special. I am a little girl from the 9th Ward, lived 1 block from the Desire Project. So there is nothing special about me other than God had a plan for my life and I followed it. And that came with a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of people that told me what I could not do. And God say, watch me work in her life. But I had to believe. And a lot of times I had to stand on my own. So that's the transformation. For me, I want Saros to look at me and see that is me. I can be state director. I can be president of my chapter. I can be international president. I can be regional director, whatever you want to be. That's what I want Saros to see when they see me. So the transformation, we're going to definitely concentrate on self-care and mental health. Because right now it's not a priority, and it should be. It shouldn't be an option. It shouldn't be an either or. So I'm going to encourage, and all I can do is encourage chapters to put aside 1 weekend a month for self-care Saturdays and self-care Sundays. Do something for yourself, or you do something as a chapter. But let's just say we're not going to do any Zeta business. We're going to concentrate on our mental health, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because once you start doing that, when we do start doing the business of Zeta, and we don't agree, we don't take stuff as seriously because we've taken care of ourselves and we've gotten to learn our sisters a little bit more. Also, we're going to start being more intentional about our programming, like Dr. Grant wants us to be. Right now, we have a lot of things going on with COVID. We have food insecurities. When the schools were closed, these kids were not eating. A lot of kids, most of their meals were at school. If you think about it, they had breakfast and lunch and maybe 1 or 2 snacks. So think about that. If that's being taken away as a parent I think we were in COVID for 1.5 years, the schools were virtual. Where's that money coming from? Where's that food coming from? And that's where organizations like Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, that's where we come in. And we get with the food banks and we get with the neighborhood and the grassroots foundations and help with those food insecurities. I also want to get involved in voter suppression. It's a lot that's going on in Georgia. We know what we had to do to turn Georgia blue. And we have campaigns coming up in November, and everybody has a candidate of their choice. I understand that. But we have to know that voter suppression is real. So we have to get involved in that. And also, we need to talk about affordable housing. Right now, I was honored to have a contracted job with the Department of Community Affairs where we do rental assistance. And the stories that I hear and the applications that I look at, every application that I'm able to touch, that's a family that has not been able to pay their rent for 18 to 22 months and on the verge of eviction. So we have to look at affordable housing and what can we do as an organization to get involved in that. And as far as transcending, we've had some phenomenal leaders on the state level as state directors. So all I want to do is pick up the torch and transcend us to the next level for Georgia. And that's making sure that we make intentional partnerships. We have a lot of national partnerships like the March of Dimes, and we do Stark's Nest, and that's great. But we need to do some partnerships that's intentional for Georgia, stuff that's going to elevate us and get us to be extraordinary. And also, I really believe in relationships. That is one of my lot in life, to make relationships, and I do that very well, I must say. So I want to make sure that we start making relationships with other states within our region. We always talking about trying to make the southeastern region stronger, but you have to start with the states. So I want to be intentional about us doing stuff with the different states to make sure that our region is stronger. And on the flip side, I want to make sure that we make relationships outside of our regions, because we have some phenomenal leaders in Georgia that want to go to the regional and the national level as officers. But if we don't have relationships, then we can't, boast about our candidates and get votes. So I want to make sure that we start making those intentional relationships outside of Georgia. So those are my 3 T's.
We finally heard the 3 T's. Everyone was like, what is these 3 T's? But I know you've been talking about it other platforms. I just wanted to just really put it out there. You could put more detail to it and kind of get everybody to understand that it's actually levels, stepping stones here of how you want to transcend the state of Georgia. So let's talk about that. So when you get your first 90 days and being in the office of state director, the 13th, that's a good number. That's a good number.
It is.
What is your plan for the first 90 days in office?
First and foremost, I'm going to thank God for his favor. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to spend a little time with God and tell him, thank you for elevating me into this level and trusting me with this assignment. Then I'm going to do a webinar to personally thank all my sorors of the state of Georgia, because it's because of the sisterhood that I would get to be in that office. Then, of course, I got to love on Mr. Lee, so I got to take him out on a date. He wants to go see the Woman King. So
that's easy day.
So I have to take Mr. Lee out on the date. That is a must. Then, of course, first thing I have to do is transition with our current state director to see what, where we are and what I need to do. Then I'm going to set up an executive board meeting to meet with the leaders of the state to kind of, go over my platform, go over, what we need to do going forward for the sisterhood. Mm-hmm. Then we have to start planning for state conference, because it's state conference planning time. We normally do that in March or April. So we have to start rolling that out, making sure that we have a place, save the date, a place, a time, and make sure that we have registration rolled out, preferably before the holidays, so folks can start, getting ready for that. Mm-hmm. We have to prepare for regional conference. Regional conference is the second weekend of November. So, if I'm elected for this position, I will be the state director for that regional conference. So we have to start preparing for that. So I want to make sure that I have everything that I need and that the state of Georgia is prepared to attend a regional conference. Mm-hmm. Also want to work on an application process for state appointments, because we do have, people that are on the board that, I don't know their intentions, and I'm going to talk to them one-on-one, but I do want to give other sorors and other people that want to be in leadership opportunities to do that. So I am going to do a webinar to go over the application process and how that's going to work from beginning to end. Okay. Also want to do a prayer call. I believe in not doing anything without giving God glory. So we're going to do a prayer call before we go to regional conference to make sure that the state is covered, and that I'm going to pray for cohesive and effective leadership throughout my administration. That's what I'm going to pray for, because I know I'm not everybody's candidate of choice, and that's fine. But if I do get this position, I'm going to be everybody's state director, and I'm going to proceed as such. And I am willing to work with any and everybody that is willing to do what's best for the state of Georgia. So that's a lot, but that's my first 90-day plan.
That's all?
You funny. You got jokes.
You lazy. That's all you gonna do.
And I'm not doing more than any other leader has done, I'm sure. And I have to remind Saras, give me some grace if I am elected, because we are transitioning on all levels. We have leadership from the national to the regional level to the state level. So give me a little grace, but that is my plan for the first 90 days. And I'm not doing it by myself. I have an executive board. You have chapter presidents, you have chapter Saras. So I am one person in the state. That's it. This is all our state. Georgia is for everybody. The 1600, 1700 Saras that are in Georgia. So it's everybody's responsibility, not just mine. So I know that we can get it done. I have no doubt.
And I don't have no doubt either. So let's go ahead and get some comments in there. All right. So we have Miss Watch. She's saying she loved this. She loves it, loves it, loves it.
Thank
We have
you.
Christy again. She says, yes, I have learned so much in these few minutes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Glad.
Okay.
That, that was it. That's what we wanted. We were
Yes.
glad you got to know Shannon better tonight. Okay, Brandy. Okay, so Shannon has been such an amazing sister to me, and even more phenomenal God of God, mother to Joy. 3. Okay, we both love her. All right,
Oh,
so
thank you,
that's
Brandy.
Brandy. All right, we have Crystal. All right, she's sending her love.
Thank you, Swoops. I call her Swoops.
Susan, yep, she's sending
Yes.
her love. Hello, great interview. Shannon rock the chapter retreat.
Thank you. I was DJing. See, my sorrow's hyping me up again. Thank you, Tina.
Keep gassing her, y'all. Keep gassing. She
Keep
could think she's
gassing me. Keep
she thinks
gassing me, girl.
she's Kika Pre now. So
Yes.
so great idea. Self-care day. There you go. There you go,
Yes.
Renee. That isn't that. But let's talk about that really quick. Imagine that being a Zeta, being in leadership, being a Soror, and your state director says 1 weekend a month. She don't want to hear from you. She don't want to see you. She don't want to come Zeta. She don't want. She's like, enjoy your family, your husband,
Yes.
your friends.
Yes.
Enjoy. Let it go. Everything can wait. Imagine that. Imagine
Yes.
that. That's a great
And
thing.
and and it was confirmation for me today, Regina, because I
Mhm.
was looking at Portia. She has a new show, and they were talking about the sandwich generation, which I didn't know that we would call that, but they
Mm.
call us the sandwich generation because we're taking care of our kids and our parents.
Yes, we
So
are.
we're in the middle. And so they were talking about, so what do you do? Because you have a full-time job, you're taking care of the kids, they have extracurricular activities, then you're taking care of either your parents or your grandparents or, aging loved ones.
Hmm.
When do you get a break? And so that was confirmation for me. Like we just keep, and as women, we just keep going and going and going. And then we don't know when to stop until you're on your back and you have to stop. So
Hmm.
why can't we be proactive? Nothing is going to happen if you decide to take a moment for you. And I've learned that nothing is going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to enable other people to start taking a little bit better care of themselves and
Hmm.
making them a little bit more independent. So, and this is not something new. This is something that people have done in leadership. I know when I used to work at another agency, they would give us Fridays off, and that would be, for self care. We had every Friday off. And I thought it was like, okay, what I did was I worked on my Friday, of course, because I wanted to be caught up for Monday. But then I was like, no, they gave us off for a reason. So that's going to be the first thing that I implement. And I know it's going to be hard because we're in a virtual world and
Hmm.
we have become very convenient of doing stuff, on Saturdays and Sundays. But no, you need to spend time with your family or just spend time by yourself and regroup and get ready for the business of Zeta. So I'm glad that everybody likes that idea. Thank you.
That is a great idea. Very good. All right, Connie says it's been very informative, and she thank you for this discussion. So
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Connie.
Connie. Cindy said great information. Thank
Thank you,
you, thank you,
Cindy.
thank you. Renee said, can you do the mental health presentation for the state? It was very informative. So she's asking.
Well, we have a mental health coordinator on the board now, and we're gonna keep one because I think that is very very important. So they will be doing that, and that's another thing I'm gonna do. As state director, and I'm gonna follow other state directors. You have to allow other people to lead. That's what
Mhm.
leaders do. Leaders make other leaders, and all they do is they put the vision down. I think maybe some people don't understand the role of the state director. So, can I briefly go
You
into
sure
that real
can.
quick?
Yes, ma'am.
So, as the state director, or even the regional or the grand, all you doing is you have your platform. Of course, you have to have a vision for the organization, obviously. And that's all you're doing. You have the vision and you have the platform. Then you get with the leaders in that organization and you make sure that they understand your vision and your platform. And then you equip them with what they need to make sure that that happens. But you allow them to lead and you sit back. You are the support system. That's it. There's no reason why I need to be doing all positions on the board, all positions in everybody's chapter. That is not the role of the state director. You are there to support and you are there to make a succession plan for the next state director and for other leaders and to give other people opportunities. I'm here because other leaders gave me opportunities and they provided membership, not membership, I'm sorry, mentorship for me. Because I didn't get here by myself, and I had some great mentors. I had some great setbacks, but I had some better successes. So that is the role of a true leader. You make other leaders.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. You can't lead unless somebody leads you to lead. Like you have to have someone to pull you to lead.
Yes.
So that's how we all learn to lead, by other people. That's the only way to be able to learn. So that's great. So we finally got the 3T. So we're going to get into a little more personal about Shannon. So this beautiful woman here is Shannon. Shannon, tell me about who you are as a person, as a woman.
Who am I as a woman? I'm very caring. I love very, very hard. I think that's the Leo in me. Everybody knows I'm a Leo because I celebrate my birthday starting in March.
Yeah, you
and
do.
Never let you forget.
It's getting kind of too much now. I need to take that down. Can we do it in the month we were born in? Anyway, I'm sorry, digress. Go ahead.
And I never let you forget that it's my birthday coming up. I will take that because everybody doesn't they don't celebrate birthdays. I celebrate another year of life because some people don't make it. So that's why I'm very extra about celebrating my birthday. But I love very hard, but I hurt. I hurt very easily. If as strong as I am and the persona that I portray, I'm a very sensitive person. And I know that's the social worker in me. I don't show it, but I'm very sensitive. I am a had to take a moment because I had to think about it. I've survived a lot of things in my life. And I was in some dark places that I didn't think that I was going to be able to get out of. And that's when I started having eating issues because I was sexually molested at 13 by somebody that I loved very much in my family. And he made me feel like I wasn't going to ever be anything. And I held that secret inside of me until I went to college and didn't tell my mom or my dad. And when I finally told them, it crushed them, not being able to help me, but it was me not being able to help myself. And that instance in my life changed me for a long time. I was very angry, and I was angry at myself for allowing it to happen. So when people sometimes tell me that I can be too loud or too boisterous, so I need to sit down, I have to remember the times when my voice was silent. So that's why I'm not silent. I'm not disrespectful, but I'm not silent because I had to fight to get my voice back. So the person that I am today, I absolutely love. I love the flaws, but I know that I would not be the person that I am today if I didn't go through everything that I went through. And that's why I want people to see that no matter what you go through, you will be successful. You just have to believe, and you have to know that that's only a small moment in time that God is preparing you for something big. It doesn't feel like it because that swallowed me whole, but it's only a small moment in time. And then once you get out of that, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. So that's who I am today. I'm a survivor.
Yes, you are. Thank you for sharing that. I know that's hard. Even though you could tell it over and over again, it's never easy. So I appreciate you sharing that out with the sisterhood tonight. Thank you. We're gonna go to the next one. This beautiful woman right here, Barbara Ann Burrell McGuire. So this is Shannon's mama.
Yeah. And every time I open my mouth, I hear my mama. I have her voice. She had a raspy voice. And that's what I missed. I miss my mom's voice. I miss the way she just prayed over me and my brother. I've never had anybody to pray over me and my brother like that, and my mom and my dad. Because I don't mention my dad a lot, and I think people think that I came from a single parent household, but my mom and dad were married for 20 plus years, and I look exactly like my father. If anybody that has seen my brother, he looks just like my mom,
Yes, he does.
and I look exactly like my father. But I have my mother's personality, and my brother has my dad's personality, because my dad was real laid back, and whatever my mama want, he gave it to her. But my mom was she just made sure we had everything that we needed. It wasn't everything we wanted, but it was everything that we needed. She made sure that we had a great education, and that we knew who we were and whose we were. And she instilled in us that no matter what people tell you, you are a Barrow and you're a McGuire. My mom was a Barrow, that was her maiden name, and my dad was a McGuire. So she made sure that we had honor in our name, and I think that's why I'm intentional about the things that I do and the things that I say. I don't always get it right. I haven't always been finer, but I do know that when I don't get it right, I am the first to apologize, and I am approachable and reproachable, and I make sure that I am that. But I would not be the person I am today without my mom, and I miss her tremendously, and I know that she's with me on this journey, because she always told me I was going to do great things no matter what it looked like. In that 2-bedroom, 1-bath house that we had, she said that me and my brother were going to do great things, and I'm walking into it right now. So I do miss her.
Yeah, she was a great, great woman. I mean, she
And she
told me
loved you, Regina. Oh my God. She
I could do
loved
no wrong.
Yes, yes.
She was a great woman. She said what she said, and she meant what she meant. And then I see where it went down to. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she's a beautiful woman, and she's truly proud of you, Shannon. She really is. 'Cause you're doing fantastic, not just in Zeta, but life. You're doing fantastic. So,
You ain't gonna make me cry, Oprah. You ain't gonna get me. I'm not gonna do it. Mm-mm.
I've been training. I've been training all day to get the tear.
Yeah, nope. Nope. Uh-uh.
So we'll go on. So talking about your brother, here he go right here. And it's an amazing story how y'all both was able to go to Morehouse and Spelman, man. Like, who does that? Two kids right behind each other? That's
Um,
amazing.
Oh, well, I called him G Money affectionately. But first of all, Gavin was a hater. Let me just say that in the beginning. So we both I went to all girls high school. He went to all boys high school. And so when I decided I was going to go to Spelman College, he was like, I'm not doing that. I've been with boys all my life. I want to go to a co-ed college. So we had a weekend at Spelman College. So him and my mom and my aunt came down. And once he realized that Morehouse was across the street from Spelman and Clark and Morris Brown, oh, he was sold. That was it. So it had nothing to do with Morehouse curriculum, nothing to do with it at all. It was all
Still
the
got the
beautiful
girls across the
women.
street.
Yeah, it was all the beautiful women that he saw, and it's history. He's a Morehouse man doing great things in the community, and I am a Spelman alumni, and I love my brother. He's a phenomenal person.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's very supportive. Very, very supportive. So the man, the myth, the legend,
Mr.
Lex.
Lee. Beard game.
Mr.
Beard
Lee.
game. Yes.
Mr. Lee, loved by all.
Yes. Yes. I met Mr. Lee my freshman year at Spelman. I went home for a weekend. It was spring break. And I don't know, I'm going to age myself again, but this is when Greyhound was having 59-cent tickets.
Mm?
I don't know if you remember that, but they
Mm-mm.
used to do a special for spring break, and it was always 59 cents. So for some reason, my roommates always wanted to go to New Orleans. They never wanted to go home. They always wanted to go to New Orleans. So on the bus, ladies and gentlemen, it was a 13-hour drive on the bus. So we would leave Friday after class, spend all day Saturday in New Orleans, and then go get back on the bus on Sunday because it was 59 cents. So this one weekend, spring break, I went home, and Mr. Lee was working in a place called the Plaza. It was a mall. He was working in the card shop. And I saw him, and we locked eyes, and I was like, oh, okay. So I walked by, and so one of my roommates was like, you need to give me your number. That's when we had phones on the wall, rotary phones on the wall. And so
You
I
get
wrote him a
choked while
letter.
you try to talk.
Yes. Yeah. So I wrote him a little note and say, hey, my name is Shannon McGuire. I would love to get to know you. And I gave him my number.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me that night. And that Saturday, he wanted to go on a date. Did not know that he didn't have a car. So he rode his bike from his house to my house, which was probably several miles. So by the time he got to my house, he was
Nice and
very
sweaty.
sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
And he just had a bike. And I said, so I'm supposed to sit on the back, on the front, where where am I supposed to sit for the date? So of course my mom looking at him like, surely you're not trying to take my child out on a bike. So my mom let us use her car. And so me, him, and my roommates, because remember my roommates came with me for spring break, went to the movies. And so we left that Sunday, and he rode his bike to the Greyhound station. I did not even know he was coming to tell me goodbye.
Oh.
And that's how we met. So we dated that month, came home for the summer, and he broke up with me. Yes, he did.
A great story.
Yes, he did. I'm telling you, I want everybody to know. He broke up with me because he wanted to he was going into the Air Force, and he wanted me to go with him. And I said, first of all, my mama gonna kill me because she's paying for this Spelman College degree. So I'm going back to Spelman, and I'll see you later on in life. And we kept in touch, remained great friends. We dated other people. So did he, but God brought us back together, and we've been married for 19 years.
There you go. Ain't that something? He said he broke up with me.
But yes, he broke up with me. I want everybody to know he broke up with me. So when you see him, you tell him.
Well, how you break up with Shannon? Everybody like, how you know that?
Yeah.
But hey, y'all still together.
Yes. Yeah. He is a great support system. We fight now, but we are truly best friends, and anybody that sees us together know that we are truly in sync. And I love the way that he treats my family, and I love the way that he treats my friends. And firsthand, because you and him are two peas in a pod.
That's right. That's my man right there.
Yeah.
So we actually we almost at the end of the talk. So we're gonna go ahead and let people in. Okay. Shannon, you ready? All right. So I was gonna go in order of what I see here. So let me go ahead and remove that. And the first person I have here is Dana Scott. You ready?
Yes. Hey, Dana Scott.
Hey.
Hey,
hello.
Dana. Hi.
Hello. Hi. So I don't really have a question because you've answered so many of my questions. I have more of a comment. Just listening to you talk, I remember the first time we met at a KIZ meeting. It was my first time in Kappa Iota Zeta, and I heard that very distinctive voice and that accent.
Yes.
And I knew this was my Wardy, because I'm from New Orleans as well. I just don't have that same accent. So I walked up and I introduced myself, and I was hooked on her spirit day one. And we've been best buddies ever since.
Yes.
And yes, her birthday starts in March. It feels like it starts in January.
So annoying, isn't it? So annoying.
It is, but it isn't, because we have our standing date. So we have our standing date, and it will never not happen. So I get it. I just want to make sure that everybody knows, like, knowing Shannon is one of the highlights of my life because of what she brings to my life. We have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. But just listening to her tonight, it really solidifies what I know about her. And I just, as she was talking, I was just writing down words, and I just wanted to share that with everybody else. Shannon is a person of integrity. When I listen to her talk about how she is intentional with her actions, she's intentional with how she connects with people as well. She is supportive. She's loyal, sometimes to a fault, but I love that about her. She's loving. She's thoughtful. And she teaches, yet she's also teachable. When you talked a little bit about, having successes and then also the bumps in the road, I think having sat back and watched your journey, becoming president, moving beyond that, taking positions within the state, taking positions within the region, watching your growth has been interesting. And being your friend, watching your growth from the inside has been very rewarding for me. So I really look forward to your next chapter. And I just want to carry your bags. That's all. Like, let me carry your bags. That's all I have. And I love you. So keep going, Shannon. We're here for you. Just pick up the phone. I promise you I will never say no.
First of all,
I don't know if you should have said that one, but okay.
No, yes.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, Dana is one of the people that she's made me who I am today. Dana will let me know. She will pull my coat strings and let me know when I'm wrong, but then she will also help me to get it right. She never comes to me with a problem. It's always, this is what happened, but this is the solution. And she's definitely one of the people that can talk me off the ledge and that I will listen to, because I know that she has my best intent at heart, and she loves my husband. And that, and that's what I love about her. She loves everybody, but Dana, you already know how I feel about you. Me and you will never part. So
Thank you so much.
She loves pumpkin.
Pumpkin all day, every day. And the those of you who don't like it, whatever, you're haters. That part.
Oh my gosh. So thank you so much, Dana, for joining us this evening. That was beautiful. You set it off really well. You set it off. You did a great job. So thank you so much. You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Red beans, Dana. Red beans.
All right. The next one is Arnetta. Is I said it correct?
Yes.
All right. Hold on. There you go. Oh, yeah. You're on speak. I mean, on mute.
You would think after as many Zoom meetings I have, I would know how to get the computer off mute, right?
Hey, your problem, child. Hey, hey, you cute though. You looking cute.
They made me go in the office today. So, as some of you may know, I am Shannon's, I want to say only mentee, but Brandy's on my phone, so then there's that. So I am her oldest mentee. We don't do that. We don't do that. And as Dana came in and gave all of the adjectives that I would have given, I'm gonna start off. I love the fact that she told a story on how she met Shannon. So mine is gonna be quick, but I have to. First of all, I'm new. I'm in an interest moment, and we're like coming in and super scared, and we can only wear, 2 colors. So I got on brown. I don't know why that was the color I chose that day, but we're gonna sew. They're gonna make us sew sanitary napkins for the girls over in Africa. Can't sew, none of the things is great. So I'm sitting there jacking up some buttons, and Shannon comes over and she's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I'm like, I'm gonna try to sew these buttons. And we get to talking about how to get away with murder. No, not how to get away with it's scandal. We having a full
the TV show. The TV show
scandal. Right.
Make that clear.
No 2022 scandals, but
right.
We're having a full conversation about scandal. Now, here's a lesson for anybody that does not do research. I have researched this chapter. I know people in the chapter. Nope, I never at no point looked up who the president of this chapter was. Me and Shannon is having a full-blown, I'm like, the next time I see you, you better have to watch that episode, blase, skippy. Like, we buddy. She stands up and goes, "Hi, I'm Shannon McGuire-Lee. I'm the president." I'm like, "Oh, I ain't never gonna be a Zeta now. This is not gonna work, Jesus." So I mean, that just speaks to the whole. She talked about being personable and being a person. That kind of just speaks to her not coming into a room with a bunch of people that were interested in being Zetas or, aspiring to be Zetas, but being able to mix and mingle in that crowd and people not know, there was no air of, I am the president and you will do this, or you will look up to me, or you will be afraid. Right. It was, we sitting there and I'm talking, we in the conversation. Like, it was like talking to one of my, people. I forgot 2 seconds, forgot where I was, so it was that type of thing. So it speaks to being approachable. We talk about that whole, when you're state director or when you're chapter bachelorist, being able to go to someone when you have issues or not have issues, or just that whole self-care, because there's times when you're going to be in these positions or just be a Zeta in general. And it becomes a lot, and you want to be able to have that open dialogue and that open conversation. And I think, you being in that role will teach some of our other leaders, that open door policies is real. And sometimes, even though it may sound like we fussing, because we probably do a lot and I get fussed at a lot. That's a whole nother conversation. But I wear stockings now, though. That's all that matters. But being serious, it's definitely something that we need. you got a lot of people that get turned off from something that happened in a chapter meeting or something that happened with a soror, and you're too afraid to go and have that conversation with leadership or with a leader, and it's been a blessing, even though as many times I didn't come to you and been like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. It's just comforting to know outside of you being my mentor, you were the president of my chapter. That's who I walked into, and here I am 7 years later, I'm still here and I'm not going nowhere. Some days though, some days, but I'm still here. And if I get to that point, all I have to do is send a text or make a phone call. And that's just not with you, Dana as well, even though she just had to throw that pumpkin thing in there. But
and that was really nice. I appreciate that. Those words I know mean volumes to Shannon.
Yeah. And my birthday's before hers. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh my goodness.
Leo, July. Can we not? Just saying.
No, we cannot.
Phenomenal things as a Zeta. She is doing phenomenal things. I am so proud of her. I am so proud of her. But thank you for, and she did make me watch Scandal. So I did go home that day and I binge watched all of Scandal. So the next time I saw her, I was able to speak intelligently about Scandal. So thank you.
Oh, but thank you. I'm gonna go ahead. We have you got a whole list of people ready. So thank you so much this evening. For everyone who's on here, if you go to Let's Talk 1943, I think most of y'all are watching it. Are you watching it outside of this platform?
No, I'm in the backstage.
Okay, if you go to Facebook to Let's Talk 1943, it's on live, so you can watch it there. Because I'm gonna take you out of here because I have to there's people waiting to get in. So I'm gonna take you off and just go there and finish watching the show, and then I appreciate that. So go ahead and do that now. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right.
All right.
All right. The next one is Sheila. Are you ready? I don't see your camera on. You ready? Okay. I'm gonna let you in.
Good evening. So good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Hey. So Shannon, I want to ask you a question because we all know that during this campaign, there's going to have to be some elephants in the room that's going to have to be addressed. Let's just be honest and blunt about it. And you know me, you and I are cut from the same cloth. So what will you do once elected, because I am speaking it into existence, what will you do to ensure that the sisterhood, no matter where they live, feel inclusive to your to you, to the organization, to you, and as well as what will you do to ensure that you are set apart from previous state directors, because the mindset is always stated that it's only folks in Atlanta that can get certain positions. So what would you do to change that narrative?
That's a good question. And I've been asked that several times. And as I stated before, this is what I'm going to do, but I think the onus goes on everybody in Georgia because this is our state. I am going to do an application process because you do have to look at people's credentials. I have to physically see it, but I'm going to be more intentional. I'm going to call, the Brunswicks and the Savannahs and the Hinesvilles, talk to their bachelors, but then I want to talk to the chapter members themselves. So we can, with modern technology, we can do a Zoom and say, hey, Saras, these are the appointments that I'm looking for. What's your skill set? Talk to me. And I'm going to encourage you to apply for this. Now, it's not a guarantee you're going to get it because I don't do that. I can't guarantee anybody anything, but I want to be more intentional and more hands-on with applying because I know that, we have Metro Atlanta chapters and that is, what people are saying, that we basically have all the positions, but it's a little more calming and soothing and more inviting if you get a call from the state director, directly and say, apply for these positions, or do you have any questions about this position? Let's go, go into it. God has allowed me to be a retiree, so I work when I want to. My business, I do run that, but I do have people that help me with that. So I do have flexibility and time to get on the road and go and do town halls and be face to face with people, or to do Zoom meetings. So I am going to be more intentional and more hands-on for that, because I do want the board to look like Metro Atlanta, Brunswick, Savannah, Hinesville, etc. I also want to be more intentional with the undergrads, because we know that's another elephant in the room. We want to make sure that they're supported, that their advisor chapters are supported, because we all are going through a lot of things. We have undergraduates that are having mental health issues that are working. So we want to make sure that they have what they need to succeed, because we do want them to graduate and to become graduate members. So to answer your question, Sarah Deese, I'm going to be very, very intentional about reaching out to everybody and be accessible. And I think what's going to separate my administration, because everybody's administration is different, it's going to be who I am and what I bring to the table. I bring that social work mentality, and you're in that same field. So, even though we know we have rules and manuals and regulations, we also do case by case. That's who we are. But we also make sure that everything is documented. We're going to follow the rules, because we ain't going to mess with that Medicaid money or that government money. But we're going to make sure that we take everybody case by case, because we see the bigger picture. Like I said, this is only a snap in time. When you tell people look at their chart, that's a moment in time. But we also see the bigger picture. And I think that's what I bring to it, that I always look at and see the bigger picture. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. And I have one final question for you. Again, as you stated, you cannot run Georgia alone. The state of Georgia belongs to every financial and active member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Under your leadership, what will you do intentionally to ensure that the chapter bacilli are being intentional with teaching, coaching, and mentoring and developing, so that if someone leaves, that chapter does not fall? So what would you do intentionally to make sure that the chapter bacilli is building up that first anti and second anti and third anti, and utilizing also the executive board? What will you do around that piece?
And that's where the teaching piece comes in for me. We currently have president's meetings every month where we go over initiatives, for the state, the region, and on the national level. But I want to start implementing different trainings, because I know as a trainer, everybody can't train. You can learn the information, but you can't disseminate it. It takes a special person to be able to do that. But I know that we have some phenomenal people on the board. We have some phenomenal people throughout the state that are great trainers. So I'm going to utilize those and talk to the chapter bacillus and into the first, second, and third antis and say, tell me what you need. What do we need to focus on as far as you having a succession plan? And I know we currently have our chapter management plans in place where, chapters are supposed to kind of lay out their succession plan. And I know sometimes it's just, you put stuff down there because it's a requirement, and we really don't go back and look at that document. But I don't want everything just to be a document on top of a document. I want you to have real-time information that you can utilize and say, I know this by memory. So if somebody asks me, I can pass it down. And then we have the word for my administration is going to be intentional. We have to be intentional about succession, because this position is not yours. So whatever information you have, it is your duty to pass it on to the next person, because it is very unfair for them to come into a position and they don't have anything to stand on. Everything needs to have a foundation. So just being intentional and encouraging sorors to get involved in the training piece, because I can't do this without y'all. I am one person. It is 1,600 plus of us that have all these skill sets. So I'm encouraging everybody to bring their skill set to the table so we can transcend Georgia.
Well, thank you very much for answering those questions. And just let me say, I am very proud of you, because I have seen the growth and the development. And for you to come on here and be transparent and expose some things that you possibly would not have done years ago, that's definitely showing the growth in you. So keep on growing, and just always remember, when you walk in your purpose, you will collide with your destiny. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sora.
Sheila.
That was
Thank you,
amazing. Thank
Sheila.
you so much. All right.
Now
Next
I'm
one.
just gonna say this: we are over time. I'm willing to stay on if Sarah's want to ask questions, but I did say 7:30 to 8:30, and I am mindful of people's time. But I'm here. I'm
Okay.
retired. I ain't got nothing to do. So
So Sora, she's here. So if you want to go ahead and ask questions, she's here. You know, that's how she is. She'll be here all day. Let me go ahead and put a couple of comments that we received too. Alexandria said, "Great discussion."
hey, Alexandria.
Brandy gave a laugh. He must have said something funny. Teresa said he always gets our shoes in the picture. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm sure she'll text me and let me know. I haven't.
It must be in one of the pictures. It must has a shoe somewhere in the
Okay.
picture.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, this is my cousin. Actually,
Hey, cousin.
get it in, cousin. Thank you,
Hey, cousin.
cousin. Thank you, cousin. All right. So we have Miss Waters coming up here next. Miss Waters, you ready? All right. Miss Waters, you're mute. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
I apologize. I was trying to get this camera right.
So
But
I
it's
can't see
not.
anything.
Yeah,
I see
you're
it.
blending into your background. That's what it is.
Okay. But I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on and giving us the opportunity to do what to ask questions and give us information. I do love the platform. I'm like, let's the three T's, let's get it, let's go. So all I want to do is say I have been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the information you've been putting out. I really think that it's needed in the state of Georgia. And so, but at any time when you become state director,
Okay.
OAZ
Okay.
is ready.
That's
Okay.
right.
OAZ in Americas is ready. And so we just want to make sure that you know that we support you. And that's from our bossless, Keena Davis.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And so and by me being able to get in first, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna surrender everything that I'm saying to Keena, and just want you to know that we'll be looking forward to it, and any help that you need, we are here. We're willing to work with you.
And I will be down there, Sarah, and I will be calling you guys. I promise, because we need all hands on deck to
Yes,
transcend Georgia. Yes, it's just not a one
yes.
person show.
This is
Yes,
not
ma'am.
a one person show. This is a everybody show. And so we just want to say thank you again. God bless you. Stay on the path you're staying. And we're going to all get there because we God fearing people. We praying people over here.
Amen.
So,
Thank
so
you.
we praying. So we have a small chapter that's growing, but we want to make sure that we are not left out of the loop.
Right.
That the smaller chapters are not left out of the loop. So
Understood. And remember, it only took 5 to make Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, so you don't need a lot.
I know, because everybody looking at us trying to come down with chapter, not telling me what. Yo, all over social media. I'm like, we started out with what 17, and we at 32 now in 1 year.
Awesome.
And
That's
I'm like,
it.
okay,
Sora.
can we all just slow down a little bit? Can we catch up, because this is getting big, but we are ready. We're ready, and we want.
And I look forward to working with you guys.
Also,
thank you, Sarah.
Sarah Smith, thank you for having the platform for us.
Oh, thank you, Sora Waters. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You have a good evening.
A blessed one.
Thank you.
Oh, you too. You too. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Next up is Monica Riley. Monica, you ready?
Monica.
You ready, Monica? Come on, come up on the screen. I don't see your picture yet. I don't see Monica coming up yet. Monica, I'm gonna give you a moment, get it together, get on the screen. I'm gonna go down to the next one. I'll come back to you, okay? Next up is Brandy.
Oh, Lord, my other problem.
Hey, Brandy.
I'm so excited, Shannon. I'm so excited to be a part of your village, and I'm so extremely proud as one of your mentees. Like Regina shared, my name is Brandy Bishop, and I have gotten to know Shannon over the last few years, and saying that she is like, I mean, amazing. I feel like it's not enough words to just describe what she's meant to both me and her godchild, Joy, who I just got off the phone with, who is very upset that she was not aware of this function. She's like, what is my nanny doing? Why am I not involved? And so I had to settle her down and let her know that I will tell her nanny that she is loving on her and she is mad that she's not here. And so Shannon came into me and Joy's life at such a pivotal time. And like Arnetta, I'm sure that me and her are both the reason for many of Shannon's gray hairs. We don't listen very well, but we want to do right most of the time. But I say that to say that similar to Arnetta's story, that me and Shannon have had such an just a intertangled dynamic where she has been sometimes like a sister to me, a lot of times like a mentor, sometimes like a mother, but she ultimately has been such a change agent in my life, right? Mm-hmm. She has a powerful presence and she has a way of making you want to be better. And so I credit a lot of my success, when it comes to my career, when it comes to who I am as a woman, to this woman right here. She, sometimes people see brokenness or see things that aren't quite right and they run in the opposite direction. And Shannon really embraced me in a time in my life where I felt pretty broken and I felt like I needed some resources and some care. And she literally has given me the shirt off of her back on several occasions.
Me too. You ain't the only one.
And so I just can't see Georgia being led by a better leader. She is the epitome of sisterhood. I mean, the epitome of sisterhood. And when it comes to developing people and pulling the best out of them, I have never met a person that's better at that than her. She sees things in people that they don't see in themselves, and she's able to cultivate that and nurture it in such a way that then they get to become their best self. And so it has been such a blessing just to watch her on her journey of transformation. And I'm excited for the transformation that Georgia is going to be a part of as we get a new state director. And so thank you so much.
No problem. Brandy,
I get so excited, Shannon. I need to settle down.
I was going to say something. I know Shannon's going to say something to you, but just the way you spoke and what you just said sound like Shannon, meaning that I know that she really fed into you. I could hear it through what you're saying. So she did a wonderful job. Wonderful job.
Brandy and Joy came in my life when I needed some joy. I tell that story all the time. I had just lost my mom, and Brandy had just became a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated through our chapter. And when I met her, we went bowling. That was one of our things for the interest. And she bowled like she was playing.
I need you to calm down.
She was throwing that ball like she was playing baseball. So I'm like, Brandy, you have to get off my team because I don't want to lose.
She didn't want to play with me.
You cannot.
Yeah, she's scared about competition now. She ain't losing no game.
But I fell in love with her when I heard her story. She's been raising her sister since she was 15. I couldn't imagine raising my brother at 15. Brandy literally gave her life for her sister, and now her sister is a senior at Valdosta State University.
Ooh,
Brandy has her own business as a doula. She is the #1 doula in Georgia and beyond. She's an entrepreneur. I mean, just to see where she's come from. I'm honored that she chose me to be her mentor. She could have chose anybody else, but she chose me. So not only did I see into her life, her and Joy has changed my life, because I could call Joy and just to hear Joy say nanny, that melts my heart. That little girl can get anything from me.
And she does.
She does. But when I want somebody to pray for me, because Joy is one of God's favorites, I say, Joy, Nanny needs a prayer. And that girl will pray for me. And I'm telling you, God will do it instantly. So
Yeah.
thank you, Brandy, for sharing Joy with me. Thank you for sharing you with me. And I'm waiting for you to give me a job because I didn't ask you for a job in your business for a long time. So now we live. Now you got
all these people.
Put on the spot, Shannon.
Thank you, Brandy. I love you.
I love you. Thank you so much. It was good to see you, Regina.
You too. It's been a minute. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for those encouraging, loving words. You did it.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Yeah, you have a good night. All right, bye-bye. Monica, I'm not sure she's not showing. I don't want to seem like we not trying to get her on here, but Monica, maybe she went off. Monica, if you have anything you need to say, you could go ahead and put it in the chat. The chat is going to stay active, and if anything, Shannon can reply there. I don't want to leave you out, but you're not on here. So we're going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much, though. All right, Shannon. So we almost at the end, and the last, hold on one second, get to the last one. Are we done? All right. So this is actually your campaign flyer and picture that you use for your campaign. Everything up there has been said, but I just wanted to say to you, Shannon, I am honored, I am blessed, and I'm so proud of you to be your intake sister. It could have been anybody, any year, anytime our lives had to combine for us to walk through them doors that day, to be there as interest. And I know that was God's purpose and plan, because we have been through everything you could think of. But you, even though we came in together, you taught me so much, taught me so much. My leadership in Zeta is because of you. You pushed me, you stretched me, you didn't give me no excuses. I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't try to get out of it with you. I'm able to say that I was a past bachelor's, state positions all over the place, and that was because you pushed me out of my comfort zone. So I want to tell you, thank you for being that sister.
And in turn, I want to say thank you because you are the Gandhi of our intake sisters. Anytime I want to wake up and choose violence, you calm me down and say, no, we're going to do this, Shannon. Now, this is the way we're going to go. We're going to give people grace. So you are that angel on my shoulder all the time. And I know no matter what time I call you, if I need something, you can kind of hear it in my voice. What's wrong? What you need? And you're right there. And I agree. I know God put us, together for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we have relationships with our other intake sisters,
Mm-hmm.
it was just something about you and I that just meshed, instantly. And our past has always been aligned. And I am very proud of the Zeta that you are, being a past president, all your state positions, all the stuff that you've done in the background. You're a phenomenal mother, phenomenal daughter. Your journey as an author, as a podcast, everything that you're doing, and God is not through with you yet. He has a lot, for you to, because you have a story to tell, and people need to hear it, and you telling other people's stories. Mm-hmm. So I am just honored that you decided that you wanted to do this Let's Talk with me, because it has bought something out of me. It was stuff that I shared that I didn't think I was going to share tonight, but I let the Spirit lead me, and that's what I'm learning to do. Since I've gotten older, I'm very cautious. I'm very cautious, but I've learned to listen a lot more to God's voice and be obedient and not question it, because it's not for my comfort. It's for me to be uncomfortable, but it's for somebody else to hear it and to act upon it. And so that's what I'm doing. And I know that you're doing the same. So I just want to encourage you to keep listening to God's voice. And no matter what it look like, what it feel like, what it tastes like, just keep going forward, because God has you, and he has you for a time such as this, for you to do everything that you need to do. So I love you, and I appreciate you more than I can say.
I love you too. And I receive everything you just said. I receive it. Soros that's watching this evening, you finally got a chance to see who Shannon is tonight. You didn't see McGuire, you didn't see Lee, you saw Shannon tonight. And this is what you need to know. because she's going to run the state of Georgia. You want to know everything you need to know about Shannon. And I'm hoping that this platform have brought that to you tonight. And I'm hoping that her transparency, her caring, her sharing, everything she told you tonight will let you know that she is the candidate running for the state of Georgia, the 13th state director of Georgia. So I would like to say thank you for joining us tonight. This course is recorded, so you'll be able to watch it other times. If for some reason you wasn't able to see it tonight, it will be on platforms all over. So we'll have that spread out. Shannon will take care of that. But if anything you want to say before we close out tonight.
I do believe in quotes. I live my life by quotes and by mantras. So I did want to leave the audience with just 5 little pearls of wisdom that I've learned to live by. And one is, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. A woman in the full circle within her is her power to create, to nurture, and to transform. And I totally believe that. If you're feeling helpless, help somebody. I always believe that what you do for somebody else, God is going to make happen for you. People have to be restored, renewed, revived, reclaimed, and redeemed. Never throw anybody out. And that's something that I live by. Everybody is redeemable. Everybody has a purpose. So we can't overlook anybody because you don't want anybody to overlook you. And lastly, if you're not making mistakes, then you're not making decisions. So I just want to close that out, and I want to let the state of Georgia know, because people have asked me what's my leadership style. And I think that I'm a coach, because I do believe in coaching people. I am a visionary, and I am a servant leader. So I have a combination of leadership styles. I'm not a micromanager, because I believe if you are in an elected and appointed position, you need to be held accountable. I will give you the tools and the support that you need, but you need to stand on your own and shine in your own right, so people can see your leadership styles. So to the sorrows of the state of Georgia, I look forward to being your 13th state director if the sisterhood says so. And I promise you that I will give 110%, but I cannot do it by myself. I will be calling on every chapter and every sorrow in the state of Georgia. So thank you and have a good night.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us.